spotlight game of this day. As usual, Chiefs and Bills going at it again this afternoon in Buffalo. 10th meeting in 6 seasons. And with that game in mind, it's time for Facts and Film. Our research producer extraordinaire is Evan Kaplan. And Cap, there is a trend that we are seeing more prevalent around the league that could factor heavily into this game today.
Absolutely, Grady. About halfway through the season, always like looking at the big picture trends. And we're going to start big picture on a 4th down and how aggressive teams are being. These are all league-wide, all of these numbers. Teams are going for it 22% of the time on 4th down. They are converting 59%, and there have been 219 total 4th down conversions. You see these numbers here. Those are all the highest through Week 8 in NFL history. It's a combination of aggressiveness and efficiency, and this number 59% here, the top 3 teams in terms of converting on 4th down, the Colts, the Patriots, and the Chiefs. 3 of the best teams in the AFC.
Yeah, so analytics have taken over all sports, and here's where they're coming into play in the NFL. So that's the big picture. Let's go little picture. How about Kansas City specifically?
Simply put, Andy Reid has never been more aggressive in his head coaching career. We're going to focus on this number 34% first. The Chiefs are going for it on 4th down 34% of the time. This is the highest in the NFL. Look how much higher it is than last year. Only 15%. It's the highest in Andy Reid's coaching career. Also, keep in mind the Bills are only going for it 13% of the time on 4th down. 29th in the NFL, could factor in today in Buffalo. Now for these numbers at the bottom. The Chiefs had 12 4th down conversions in 17 games last season. They have 14 in 8 games this season.
Wow.
That is the most in the NFL. And one number to leave you with, Grady, as you head over to the guys.
Yeah.
In Alex Smith's last season with the Chiefs in 2017, they had 3 4th down conversions with Andy Reid in the entire year.
Okay, so that's very well done. So those are the numbers. Let's, as we always do, go over and see what the pictures tell us.
What happened?
It's a different.
I didn't know it was 3. I didn't know it was 3, Teddy.
Yeah. It's different, right? I mean, he obviously has just evolved.
Very different. Listen, when I was with Andy, obviously phenomenal coach, phenomenal offensive mind. But this was a bit of the narrative with him coming from Philadelphia that, listen, he wasn't great situationally. He wasn't great with clock management and some of these big 4th down situations. And again, we see it in the numbers play out. But man, have things changed. And it's not just the aggressiveness. It's that same Andy creativity that we love. Take a look at this one. We've seen this play, right, Teddy? This play never works. We're trying to draw him off sides.
Never works, man.
Ooh, easy. What are we doing, Teddy? What are we doing? Again, this play is garbage, right? Never actually works. And oh, wait, hut. The quick snap, again, easy conversion early in this game. And by the way, on their own side of the field. Okay, here we are, 4th down in the low red. I want you to watch this. Noah Gray's going to come in motion here. Look at all the eyeballs on the motion defender, right? They see the safety run over. Everybody is aware that it is man to man again, and now we're going to get a specific man play because of it. Watch Xavier Worthy, the fastest dude in the NFL, leaves the defender grasping for air. Teddy, he gets hipped by Juju Smith-Schuster. Look at the easy pitch and catch into the flat. We're walking into the end zone. Oh, wait, we're dancing into the end zone, Teddy. I would dance, but I can't. Again, here we are, another low red, goal-to-go situation. This is from last week. Here we are, motion indicator again. Everybody very aware it's man-to-man, especially number 15 back here playing quarterback. And again, they elect not to pressure him. That's a mistake, right? We're running around, we're buying time. Watch Kelsey attract the attention. Again, Bobby Wagner takes the cheese, and Kareem Hunt on the scramble drill into the back of the end zone. Again, celebrating, right? They've been so good at it. And look, I love this. I love this. Look at this. There's a few more grays in there, right? A few more grays from Big Red. But listen, most Tigers don't change their stripes. Yeah. This guy, late in life learner, has made the change. He's got his foot on the gas. It obviously helps when you got number 15 at quarterback, but you better believe 4th downs are going to play a big part of today's game.
That's an old school coach evolving with the times. You have to respect the heck out of it. It's why he's one of the greatest of all time. So let's go to the defensive side of it and specifically trying to shut down a Kansas City offense that looks great.
Yeah, but first, I get sort of the feeling that they just feel like they're smarter than we are, all right? The Kansas City Chiefs offense feels like they're smarter than everyone on defense, especially the Buffalo Bills. But I'm going to show you how the defense sometimes outthinks the Kansas City Chiefs. The way that they rush Patrick Mahomes, not aggressively, but sort of through education, if you will, because you know Patrick Mahomes, he's going to escape the inside rush. You've got the spy by Milano, rushing smart, trying to disrupt the ball, not get a big hit. So he knows behind him, all eyes are on the quarterback, and there's the interception right there. That's how we outsmart Patrick Mahomes, because we know if we blitz him, he's going to make you pay. Watch Dorian Williams here, a very smart rush back in 2024. The plan is going to stay the same, believe me, people. Here's the inside rush on the left, but watch Williams here. He's spying, and here comes the lineman to come get him. You see them big old claws. They want to grab him, but he stays, keeps his distance, and then waits for Patrick to exit the pocket, and then disrupts the throw, makes him feel the pressure. Patrick tries to be Superman, and there's another interception on how sometimes, Alex, the defense is smarter, but you got to win one-on-one, fellas. So in Buffalo, we've got a couple additions to where if we're rushing the passer one-on-one and we got to win, here we go. Hoyt just came back from suspension last week. You see the power. You see them get the hand off of the body there. This guy is all effort, all gas, all the time, reaches over the offensive lineman, forces the fumble. Hoyt provides fresh legs. He provides that energy that they need, winning one-on-one situations to attack the tackle. Now, another name that we know in the NFL is Joey Bosa. Yes, Joey Bosa is in Buffalo. Here he comes, faking the speed. This is vintage Bosa right here. Speed to power. Watch his hands. Press the pocket versus Dalton. Body angle, power, strength. 3 sacks on the year. Gets the sack here. So, through education, knowing who Patrick Mahomes is, and then these additions, along with Rousseau, along with Epinesa, we got to win one-on-one most of the time, but still, sometimes defense got some intelligence too.
We're looking forward to this matchup today. Jeff Darlington is there in Western New York for the showdown. Good morning, Jeff.
Yeah, Greeny, listen, obviously, we see that piece right there about Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. We know that is the big star power of this game. But when you speak to both teams, you also recognize that the running game could play a huge factor in deciding this outcome, and it goes to both sides of the ball. For the Bills, James Cook has been shouldering the load on offense. Josh Allen says he loves to see what Cook has been doing. He understands that he's got to get the passing game going, but in the meantime, Cook really doing a valuable job. Now, on the other side for the Chiefs, obviously we know Mahomes and the passing game is clicking, but they're up against the 31st ranked run defense in the NFL. Isaiah Pacheco will be out of this game with a knee strain, but Kareem Hunt feels like he is ready to rock in this game. Andy Reid saying that he feels like Hunt is also in better shape than he was last time around this time. He feels like Hunt is ready to take on a starting role in this game as he replaces Pacheco. So I get it, Greeny. It's all about the quarterbacks, but I will say the running attacks for both teams will be critical in this game.
Absolutely, Jeff. It's an important point to make as we see these teams, as we told you, separated by 1 point in all of these matchups. And Tedy, it sort of feels so much like a rivalry that you lived through about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Brady and Manning, really, it was. And every time you played them, every time Tom and our Patriots went up against Peyton and his Colts, we always felt the importance of the game. I mean, we had the mental edge over Peyton's teams for multiple years, and then you actually can almost feel the shift when it happens. It hasn't happened for Josh and the Bills yet, but when the Colts in that 2006 AFC Championship game came and they beat us, you could almost feel the shift, and almost like you felt like they got us. They got us. They almost have our number. It's when they ran it down our throat all the way down to the end zone. I remember seeing Peyton after the game and just saying, hey, man, I'm proud of you because you're about to move on to the Super Bowl and play the Chicago Bears and Rex Grossman, the quarterback, and you're probably going to win the championship. But that's what we did. You feel like this is the game. This is the game. Now, the Chiefs have the mental edge. The Chiefs have the mental edge in this one. They've won the championships. They have all of the jewelry. The Bills, I don't think you can settle the score today, but you can set the stage. Set the stage for them in terms of that number 1 seed, make them play an extra playoff game by giving them that 4th loss. So this is extremely important today.
I think for mine, just giving the Chiefs something to really think about. One thing we know up here, it's hard to beat a good team twice, let alone 3 times. And that's what has been the key between the Buffalo Bills and the Chiefs over the last couple of years. And the reason why I say that is because since Rashee Rice has come back to this team has elevated everybody on the offense, on the defensive side. Darlington talked about the run game and James Cook. Rex, I got a question for you. A couple weeks ago, your Detroit Lions went into Kansas City. How did that run game fare?
Well, I mean, it was doing okay, but what happened? They fell behind, and then all of a sudden, boom, they had to throw it.
So the point that I'm making, James Cook had a hell of a week last week, a breakout game. But I'm looking for the supporting cast. Because the Kansas City Chiefs, you think the Kansas City Chiefs is going to let James Cook run for another 200 yards? Right. So for me, the supporting cast, Kincaid, Shakir, and my man Coleman, they're going to have to pick up the pieces. I need to see it.
You know, Rand, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, that's the question about Buffalo, and it came up a lot this week on Get Up. Do they have the weapons on the outside that are necessary for Josh Allen to put this team over the top? Cook is probably the one guy in that offense that scares you. Do they have anybody else who can do that?
Yeah, it's one of my biggest question marks for this team is, like, outside of Khalil Shakir catching these little bubbles and flat routes and pick routes, right? Who else is going to contribute and really step up in this passing game? We haven't seen Keon Coleman do it. The guy only gets 3 or 4 targets a game. Like Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, these guys haven't been that kind of fundamental piece that they're looking for. And so I potentially, this is a candidate to go make a trade, I think, to get a piece on the outside. But Teddy, I think you hit the nail on the head. This game today, setting the stage, right? I don't think any of us would be opposed to these two teams meeting again in the playoffs. This game today determines where that stage is, right? Yeah. And for the Bills, they want it to be in Orchard Park. Listen, this is a unique place to play football. It's miserable if you're a quarterback, right? Like, again, the sun doesn't come out there. It's windy all the time. And the Bills have such a great home field advantage there. And so, again, this game today has such a huge impact on seeding.
When you go far, like both of these teams usually do go far in the playoffs, you start looking around at this point, and you see the Colts with just 1 loss. That's how important this is here for that number 1 seed with the Colts already having 1 loss. The Bills, as we speak, are looking up in their own division at New England. It might stay that way. Let's go back to the thought about them needing another weapon. Adam Schefter, the trade deadline is Tuesday. Is that a team that we should be keeping an eye on to make a move of that kind?
Greeny, the Buffalo Bills have made calls about wide receivers. A wide receiver that would make some sense there would be the Saints wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. The Saints would like to obviously get a second-day draft pick if that's possible to move off him. The Saints have Shaheed. They have Chris Olave. They have Brandon Cooks. You would figure there's a chance that one of those receivers could be done. The issue that Buffalo has is it's invested so much of its own money in its own players that it doesn't have a lot of money to spend on other parts. But if they can find the right player at the right price for a fair value, I think Buffalo would love to add a weapon if it could.
Rashid Shaheed, would he make a huge difference? Would he make the kind of difference we're talking about in this Buffalo offense?
Well, Alex is talking about Shakir being the guy, the gadget, the quick throws to. He can open up the deep part of the field that gives Keon Coleman some space. But real quick, I think a lot of it, the scheme of what we've seen from Kansas City, a lot of it's on offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Is it Joe Brady?
Yes.
Yep. I want to see what type of scheme he comes up to, with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, look, you know what I want to see? I want to see the best player in the National Football League, Josh Allen, against the best quarterback in the National Football League, and Patrick Mahomes, what we see every single time they play him. Patrick Mahomes has never beat Josh Allen. He's beat the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has been spectacular in every one of these games. So I love that matchup. I don't care if we see it. I mean, of course, Alex, we want to see this again in the playoffs.
Yes, please.
But I can't wait to see this one. It's going to be an awesome matchup.
The way things are rolling, we could see it early in the playoffs if the season sort of continues to progress this way. Now,